Welcome to the world of exploration. Let's start exploring, let's start learning. We are going to discuss activity number 3. Take the example of an organization you know. Talk to a manager who has recently been promoted to a manager's position. Interview him on what his initial feelings were as a manager. Write down what do you think an organization expects from a manager, as understood by the manager. The changing role of managers in the current context. It is true today that for various reasons, along with the advances in technology and tools at their disposal, the employees are aware of their duties and responsibilities and hence can manage their work and the intricate details embedded in it. There is not much for manager to micromanage further the changed environment from a manufacturing paradigm to a knowledge-driven service economy, and the consequent transition from a top-down approach to employee-centered approach calls for a changed role of a manager in the current context. There are various perspectives on the role of a manager in the modern contemporary era. Some of them are explained in the following section. The very definition of a manager as one who wields power and authority to get things done in an organizational context gets changed in the changed context of self-managed employees and teams. Management is seen more as a process than the role of manager. As one whose role is to engage everyone to get things done, it must be admitted that contemporary context demands management as much more than getting things done. With the change in the work style, work design, workspace and technology support, and the employee orientation towards work, the focus thus is seen more on the role and style of the manager than the function of management, as everyone is involved in some form of management or the other at their levels. It is thus understood that the role of a manager relates to a particular application of a management and not the entire management as was done in the past. With innovation as a key driver, the knowledge-driven economy, with the knowledge workers, the managerial role is woven around engaging them to complete their activities without much focus on the details of their work. Thus, a relook at the role of managers in the changed context highlights 4 roles to the manager. According to McCrimmon, managers have to behave as investors, customers, coach, and partners, as they share some attributes of each of the actors. Managers as investors. An investor tries to allocate his resources in return for the best outcomes. One of the functions of management is to allocate resources to achieve the goals and get the best return. Like any other investor, a good manager is thus one who can effectively use the given resources for optimum returns. In a knowledge-based economy, the manager differs from the investor in 2 ways. First, the knowledge workers know their work and hence bargain on the resources they tend to get from the manager. It cannot be unilaterally decided by the manager as can be done by the investor with the investment. Second, since teams are built by the managers in organizations, they work closely with the knowledge workers, unlike the investors who maintain a distance after the investment is made. Managers as customers. Effective management is determined by the customer feedback on the products or services. In a knowledge-driven context, the employees are targeted and self-managed and hence provide services to the organization and the manager as internal customers. Since the employees know their work, they can gauge the needs of the manager and give him services which at times even managers can overlook. In his context, they feel empowered to not only do their work but also decide on the process of work, thus contributing to the manager and the organization as operators of business. Unfortunately, the knowledge workers are generally in short supply and hence they demonstrate more power than their customers, managers, and are able to provide more advice, thus transforming the function bottom up from the earlier top-down approach. The managerial role in the changed context is like any other customer waiting for the feedback from the employees. Manager as a coach. A coach is normally seen in sports guiding the players towards winning matches. Similarly, a manager in the role of coach facilitates, guides, and coordinates the activities of his team towards the achievement of the goals. In the contemporary organizational context, where talented resources with niche skills are scarce, a manager has to essentially manage and retain the talent. In the role of coach, the manager has to weigh his options very carefully to retain the talent. Thus, the role of manager is seen more in coaching rather than directing the employees. Manager as a partner. The knowledge workers are understood more as partners in the process of management. Organizations forge partnerships with external suppliers to fulfill many of its requirements. Employees, because of their knowledge, similarly act as internal suppliers of services and partner with the organization in the process of management. Thus, the manager must understand the changed organizational context and practice the notions of leadership and management as an investor, coach, partner, and customer for competitive advantage. The changing role of manager perspective from managers. The very thought of manager that comes to anyone's mind is that of a person heading a project, occupying a decent office room, monitoring a team of people, reporting to him. The role for manager for more than a century restricted to well-defined set of actions. The manager was in his comfort zone with a more or less stable profit line and with not much vagaries of the market to bother with. The market economy and the consequent management trends has brought a sea change in the role of a manager. Competition is the norm for every organization today. Therefore, organizations look for managers who can model and remodel their behaviors to suit the changing conditions. The focus thus is on the following actions of the manager for renewed role in the modern context. Lifelong learning. The functions of manager earlier were performed easily by knowledgeable gain through education and managerial experience over time. The advancements in technology has, however, thrown challenges of a different order, thus making the knowledge of no longer useful in technology-driven context. Artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning has all transformed the world of work to such an extent that manager is forced to focus on continuous learning himself and see that his team also gets on a continuous learning mode. Delegation. Controlling is an essential function of management. The knowledge-driven economy with knowledge workers bring in versatility to the workspace with enormous talent and niche skills. The new role of manager demands the manager to take the team along, reposing confidence in the team and delegate instead of supervising and policing in the name of control. The ultimate objective in the control function should be to bring the best out of every employee and see that they inculcate and work with confidence in the given task. Create future leaders. Providing leadership and guiding the team is traditionally a manager's function. In the changed context, the new role of a manager demands the manager to create leaders who can manage themselves and also their peers. In the decision-making function, the manager can involve and allow employees who show promise to take informed decisions and implement them. The manager thus is able to develop leadership qualities in the team and create future leaders for the organization. Innovation is the key. Innovation is the key in the competitive scenario today. Competitive advantage presupposes quality products and services which entail innovation and creativity among the employees. Managers must innovate and encourage the team to innovate with new ideas and take on new challenges. Innovation has been taken to such a level in today's context that it has been included as a performance parameter among the employees, and so much so that repetitive tasks are no more counted and the managerial role lies in encouraging the same. Proactive attitude. The manager today is expected to proactively interact and encourage the team to take on challenges rather than monitor the allotted tasks. The role gets enlarged where the where the manager would inculcate the habit of proactively initiate dialogue and discussion with the team so as to bring out the best in the team. Out of the box thinking and working. Organizations today expect employees not only to do their allotted tasks but much more than that. The role of a manager is in such a context is to break the monotony of repetitive tasks by the team and encouraging them to think differently out of the box, to do the same task in a different way. Instead of a role of problem solver for the team, the manager should draw everyone into the process, allow them to solve problems, come out with solutions, implement them and learn from the mistakes. Thus, the role of a manager demands the understanding of the evolving organization and rising to the occasion so that he is able to look into the future challenges and ready to learn and teach the team to sail through that uncertain times. Summary. Management is a practice which is used consciously and continually in shaping organizations. The role of managers, the functions they perform and the processes they follow assume significance in the achievement of organizational goals. They possess skills and competencies which are critical in their day-to-day functioning. Managerial function is performed across all levels, but the fact remains that management as a practice produces contribution and consequences, and the role of the manager assumes significance in this context. The managerial functions are geared towards this end. However, modern organizations are facing challenges of a different order. The role of a manager has been transformed in the ever-evolving organizational context to understand the future challenges and ready to model the role accordingly.